For the left group, Kateřina Konečná.
Děkuji, paní předsedkyně.
Thank you, Madam President, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to vote about new emissions limits for private cars and utility vehicles by 2035 for CO2 emissions. People know about this as the ban on the combustion engine by 2035. I'd like to say something about how this was negotiated. It was most unfortunate, and it was all the more unfortunate the result that was obtained. The Czech presidency tried to make out that this wasn't the end of the combustion engine because Council had included the possibility of using synthetic fuels. But that's not true because the synthetic fuels are only there in a recital and so are not binding. Then the Commission was saying, and I think the Commissioner even promised that if there were a ban on new cars with combustion engines in 2035, then manufacturers would continue to be bound by Euro 6 so as not to have to invest in a dying technology. But even that didn't happen because the Commission came along with Euro 7, which will make new cars with a combustion engine even more expensive because it places new requirements on engines, brakes, and so on. The Czech government were useful idiots in this process in that they rushed the whole thing through under their presidency. And then they realized that they couldn't accept Euro 7 because it would kill off an industry which makes up 10% of Czech Republic GDP. The Czech transport minister, Kupka, a month and a half after the presidency, suddenly decided that the Czech Republic could not accept Euro 7. But of course, it was too late. What we're doing here is we're throwing away our competitive edge, our technological advantage. We're going to be dependent on battery components from China and Africa. We're making the same mistake as we did with Russian fossil fuels, but we're making us dependent on different powers. We don't have a battery industry. We're years behind the Chinese industry. We want electric cars, but we don't know how to produce the electricity, and we're not even talking about the price of electricity. Look at what it's doing to our households. I could carry on for an hour. Colleagues, given all of this, do think about how you're going to vote on the new CO2 emissions limits on private and utility vehicles. People are suffering, and this could be a fatal blow. Is this really the way for Europe's industry to go? Are we not shooting ourselves in the foot? I don't think this is the way to go, and I don't think I'm alone. Thanks.
Thank you. Ms. Konečná.